Saints Row 1 came out almost 8 years ago on August 29th, 2006. And this August 29th, Volition will be unveiling a new game at PAX Prime with what is going to be called Quiz Show Hour with Volition. Jim Boone and Steve Jarris, two big names in the Saints Row series, are going to be there. In addition to them is Natalie Lander, the voice of Kinsey. So just to recap, a new game is being announced on the anniversary of Saints Row 1 being released with members of the Saints Row team. Joining me today are a few special guests. We have SaintsGodzilla and RPG Gameplay, two fellow Saints Row YouTubers. We have my personal assistants and Saints Row researchers, Mitch and Callum. And finally, we have someone who's never played Saints Row 1 or 2. So, from a new fan's perspective, we welcome Hippocrates. So, given what we know so far, is this announcement going to be related to Saints Row, or could this possibly be a new IP from Volition?
I definitely think it's going to be another Saints Row game. It's either going to be Saints Row 5 or Saints Row 1 Remastered.
I think all signs point towards a new Saints Row because that's what pretty much a good portion of the community wants.
Right.
So I'd bet money that it would be a new Saints Row game.
But even though Volition has stated many times that Saints Row 4 is the last Saints Row game as we know it, and even on Volition's official website right now, it says it's the conclusion. You guys still think it's going to continue after Saints Row 4?
That's way too big of a cliffhanger on Saints Row 4 to just leave the franchise like that.
Yeah, and Volition have said things wrong before, like how the zombies weren't going to be back in Saints Row 4 and all stuff like that.
Or the Penetrator.
Yeah, the Penetrator.
And that, yeah.
I think it's such a broad ending on Saints Row 4. You can't just end it just like that.
Yeah.
I completely agree. So as a follow-up to that, could this announcement reveal that it's going to be a continuation, a reboot, or a remake for Saints Row? Or do you think that it's too early to get any of that information?
I think it would be a continuation.
Definitely. There could be just like a teaser trailer or something like that they show off just to say that they're making a Saints Row game.
Well, they're gonna need something to showcase their new game, so whatever it is, there will at least be a trailer, I'm pretty sure of that.
Maybe just like a couple seconds worth, but there's gonna be something.
Even if it's just a few seconds, you know, it basically gives you an idea of what it's gonna be. So,
Yeah,
you know, that should
like
be enough.
Something short
I
like...
think it's too early for any gameplay or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only been like just over a year since Saints Row 4 came out, so...
I mean, how many years were in between 3 and 4? Because...
2.
2? Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, 2.
I don't really think that they're just going to announce a title because it's been hyped up so much. If they just announce a title, I think it'd be pretty bare bones.
Well, Jay Moore, the voice of Dane Vogel in Saints Row 2, and even Jeffrey Allen Kayem, the original voice for Dex, have stated that they're providing voices for a new Saints Row project. Now, take a minute to think about that. Dex and Dane Vogel, two characters that are supposed to be dead. I mean, just the fact that Dex is semi-confirmed is huge news, but considering these two characters together, this gives a huge hint on what to expect for Saints Row 5. So how do you think this plays into the new Saints Row?
Well, I remember Dex joined forces with Ultor, and he tried to take down the boss at the end of Saints Row 2. So that's probably why both characters are related.
They'll probably continue off the time machine aspect. Well, that's what I think.
Yeah,
And since they're using a time machine, doesn't that mean that they're going to be visiting old places, which means that it's most likely going to take place in Steelport or Stillwater?
Yeah, it could use the old maps, indeed. But do you think we're going to see something like a Saints Row 4 style gameplay where it's just little miniature maps that you can go visit, or will this actually play into the open world aspect of the games?
I think hopefully, they said while they were at THQ they had very little funding compared to what they have now of Deep Silver, I think it is. So maybe they have more time to make the game and sort of refine it.
And now that they're on next gen, they can definitely push the limits of the console.
Yeah. I think Volition recently brought on like almost 100 new staff, so that hints that the title's going to be big.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not even hear about that. So, would you guys prefer a new city, or would you want to go back to Stillwater or Stillport?
Stillport needs to go away forever.
Yeah.
But what if they included that map with Stillwater, like a place where you can travel between Stillwater and Stillport?
I'd
I
rather
think
them
I'd
put
only
more
count
effort.
Stillwater.
More effort.
Yeah, maybe they could just like improve Steelport because well, it's not that bad, but it could use a lot of improvement. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Or
sort
you
of,
can just include Stillwater. I mean,
sort of like how they did with Stillwater for Saints Row 2. But
Yeah.
personally, I don't see how they could improve it too much. I just don't really like that city too much. So
I would love to see a brand new map. Just
Yeah.
think with the new, if they have a new engine for next gen, they're gonna make it good.
But if we have superpowers, then they don't need to put too much effort into their city because you're flying through it anyways. Not gonna notice much.
Yeah.
Well, would you prefer a game more focused on individual levels like Saints Row 4, or a game where the focus is on one major city that feels more alive?
Definitely a world that's more alive.
Yeah, with
Not
more
just-
interiors and stuff.
Exactly.
It
Even if
really
you have
immerses you in the game.
And that's
Alright.
what gave Saints Row 2 so much replayability because of the fact that it's so alive.
Yeah. Hippo, what are your thoughts on that? You played Saints Row 3, you played Saints Row 4. Which game felt more like a fun open world game to you?
I would say Saints Row 4 because you were able to get to several places more easily than you would be able to in Saints Row 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, you can just jump really high, fly around, get on rooftops like it's no thing. But if you wanted to get on a rooftop in Saints Row 3, you'd need to go find a helicopter or an airplane somewhere. And, you know, it gives you more time to, like, check out the city.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be driving around in the streets, which in Saints Row 4 you wouldn't see. So I guess Saints Row 4 has its own way of seeing the city. Like, you can get to places where you can't get to easily.
Mhm.
But in Saints Row 3, if you actually want to get to that place, you're pretty much forced to go through a certain area to, like, get to the thing you need to get to that place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. But doesn't that take away from the adventure aspect of an open world game when you just have the whole city available to you, just like that?
Well, pretty much in Saints Row 4, yeah. You would see a lot more, which kind of takes the mystery of the city away. Like, things you don't see as quickly. How should I explain it? Like, it becomes... I'm out of words. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Takes away the adventure.
I guess it takes away the adventure.
Pretty much, like, you've seen it. Like, after you've seen it, there's really nothing else to discover because it's, yeah.
Yeah, I like the type of games where you have to work your way up from the bottom, starting out very little, not
Yeah.
already having a bunch.
Do you think Saints Row 5 will be the official end of the series, even though they hinted that Saints Row 4 was?
I think it'd have to be because where can it go from here?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Saints Row 5 would be a good way to end the series by pretty much doing what the fans want to see as an end.
Okay, they built up two separate communities, the old school and the new school, so I guess Saints Row 5 could be a clash of the both of the communities, just create the best Saints Row game.
Yeah. I mean, they sort of tried to do that with Saints Row 4, though, and it didn't really work because of, aliens and superpowers and stuff. So do you think we're going to see a lot of sci-fi elements with Saints Row 5?
Probably.
I really hope not, but probably.
Well,
I mean, Saints Row 4 ends with a time machine, which pretty much gives so many possibilities for a fifth game.
Time
Yeah.
Machine's basically one of the most sci-fi things possible.
Yeah,
so-
that's true. I mean, either way, it's going to have some sci-fi elements, but do you think the whole gameplay will be based around sci-fi elements, like superpowers and stuff like that? Because I could imagine if they were trying to please old school fans and new school fans, they'll have you go back in time, but they'll just have your, character basically not be so OP, not have superpowers, and just be like how you were in Saints Row 3 and 2.
Well, maybe since they're not in a simulation anymore, that there might not even be superpowers, and you're
Oh,
just
that's-
sent back in time to old Stillwater.
Yeah.
And you have to fix all the wrongs.
Oh, fantastic point there.
But
Oh.
then again, I doubt they'll bring this part in. But on the very last mission, when you're fighting Zinyak in the game, you get that suit, what gives you the superpowers in real life. So you could
Iron
get
Saint.
that.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that.
Surprise
Do you
me.
think there'll be multiplayer in Saints Row 5?
Oh shit.
Probably just co-op unless they like make the engine so good it can handle more than 2. But that's not what they've done for the latest 2 games.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be co-op. But do you
Would you
think
like to see 4-player co-op though?
4-player co-op.
That would be fun.
Or 16-player co-op in the free world. You never know.
Or just bring back the whole thing from Saints Row just for Flippy.
I hope so.
That would make him happy.
Yeah, I think we might have like a 4-player mission co-op and then maybe a 16-player free roam. That would be pretty interesting.
A free roam co-op would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be both Saints Row 5 and Saints Row 1 remastered. And they're hiring so many people to work on both projects.
Right, do you...
Oh yeah, they
I'd like
include
the
Saints-
Master Chief Edition of Halo thing, where they're bringing out loads of them again, remastered.
Saints Row 1... So many people want that, but I just don't see it happening. Maybe like a reboot, but I don't think they're gonna like remaster Saints Row 1 or 2.
That
I
makes
can't
me
think-
sad.
But would you guys want that? Would you, if they did put the effort into to recreate Saints Row 2 with new graphics but kept everything the same, would you guys buy that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'd prefer for a new game to come out than just a remastered one.
When do you think this game is even going to come out?
Well, in Saints Row 4, there was that Easter egg where like the line of code is on the screen, and it said Dead Island _ Saints Row coming 2015. And Dead Island 2 has been recently announced for 2015, which leaves open for a new Saints Row title also. I'd say
Sometime
2015.
2015? Yeah.
2015.
That's way too early. There's no way.
Late 2015.
Late 2015.
Like November-ish, like around the time when Saints Row 3 came out.
Originally a DLC for Saints Row 4, Saints Row 5.
Saints Row 4.5.
Do you think there will be multiple announcements during that panel?
Maybe.
Especially Saints Row 4.
Especially Saints Row 4.
Just
I mean, a
getting-
different direction
changing the
from...
direction of all their games and making them new fans is
Yeah.
angering everyone else.
That would anger both the communities.
Oh yeah. What if it's just set in the jungle? Like it's a mercenaries type game.
Like a gorilla.
Yeah.
Far Cry, Row, Saints.
Far Row. Saints cry.
Saints Cry.
Well, I'm gonna cry if it is, but
Just Cause, Row, Saints.
Oh yeah. Saints Row 4 takes a lot of influence from other games. Do you think we'll see anything like that for Saints Row 5?
I think Saints Row 5 is gonna take like influence from like movies or something. I think I read that online from a source. Saints Row 4 was sort of a parody of Mass Effect 3 with the Normandy and some of the gameplay and stuff, so I could see why they would bring that back.
Yeah. Either way, let's hope that whatever Saints Row 5 is, it's going to be good. And then maybe after Saints Row 5, we can get a reboot. And they can finally fucking determine what they want to do with their series.
I'm sorry Dom couldn't make it. He died.
Dom died. I really wanted Dominatrix to be in this call. He's a Saints Row expert. But
Rest in peace,
unfortunately,
Dom.
he's dead.
You were great.
In memory of Dom.
We will never forget you.
In loving memory. Alright, so you can go find SaintsGodzilla at Mr. SaintsGodzilla21 on YouTube. You can find RPG Gameplay at RPG Gameplay on YouTube. You can find Hippo. Where are you at, Hippo?
YouTube.com/PreciousHippoCrates or hitbox.tv/PHippocrates.
And Mitch.
You can find me at twitch.tv/mitchr_101 and youtube.com/mitchrz101.
And Callum. You can find him nowhere. He's a ghost.
Callum.
Awesome. Well, and also this 29th, I might be streaming Saints Row on Twitch. Yes, I'm streaming now, so you can go follow me on Twitch.
Thanks to me.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more Saints Row news, and I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.
Should we all say goodbye at the end?
Yeah, say goodbye.
Bye.
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 Love you.